Good morning. It is 10:36 a.m. on Monday, December 24th, 2018, Christmas Eve. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, I actually hadn't intended to stay up late and then sleep in, but I forgot that it was the Cosmo Quest Hangoutathon that was happening last night, and I was asked if I could assist joining for the midnight to 1 a.m. Eastern hour, and I did. And I don't regret it. It was fun because, Dr. Pamela Gay is, raising money for her Cosmo Quest organization, which is a great cause with science education and outreach and citizen science and in astronomy, and it's all very great stuff. I was very happy to help, but it did mean that I stayed up later than I would have otherwise. And so I slept in this morning, and I set an alarm for myself and was feeling really tired when it went off. And then I realized, oh, that's my other alarm because my alarm clock doesn't know that it's a holiday. So technically I could work today, but I think I'm going to not work today. And I will actually instead finish packing for my trip tomorrow. Because early tomorrow morning on Christmas Day, I'm going to be returning to South Korea for another stint. This one a bit longer, all the way until February 15th. But, I got a lot of packing to do. But that's not going to take me all day. So I'm actually also probably going to go see Aquaman. Because I didn't see Aquaman just Saturday. Yeah. So on Saturday, I talked about potentially going to see a couple movies. And what I actually ended up seeing was Mortal Engines. And then I saw Into the Spider-Verse a second time, which totally holds up. It's a great movie. It's one of my favorites in a long time. I love it. But Mortal Engines is, I don't think I loved it on the level of Into the Spider-Verse necessarily, but that's a pretty high bar. I really liked it, and it's a shame that its marketing is just letting it down, apparently, because, I talked to several people who were like, Mortal Engines, what is that? I never even heard of it, and it's like, well, yeah, okay, and then, their marketing didn't get where it needed to go, and even though the trailer made me want to see it, I don't know if it had that same effect on everybody. I wonder if maybe the title didn't appeal to people, and if they didn't already know what it was, and and maybe it's just a lot of competition this year. I don't know, but it's, I guess, not doing very well, so it's probably not going to be in the theater very long, which is a shame because I really liked it. As when it comes to just like characters and plot, they're pretty much what you'd expect. None of the characters, I'll say that there's actually one character that's not in the trailer, does have some surprises in store. But for the most part, the characters are pretty standard out of the box stuff for a post-apocalyptic action adventure story, which is fine. They're not bad. They're just not the movie's primary strength. Likewise, the plot has some really cool stuff, metaphor for colonialism and stuff like that, and it actually does lose sight. The movie kind of loses sight of that for a while in the middle. When it just gets kind of caught up in its own action adventure antics. But it's still there and present, and it does come back to it at the end, and I liked that. And so the story, again, is also fine. But boy, what I absolutely loved is all of the world building and the visuals. If you're not familiar, if you, like my some various people that I've talked to, didn't even know what I was talking about, Mortal Engines is about a society that has risen up post an apocalypse, thus post-apocalypse, where cities have become vehicles. You have, imagine an entire city block raised up on tank treads that drives around the wasteland and then trades with other cities, but they all have to be afraid of London, the enormous, gigantic predator city which actually is also on its own tank treads, and it chases down the smaller ones and eats them like a predator eating prey. And it's amazing. Obviously, it's very silly in the sense of none of it seems remotely practical, but who cares? Because that's awesome. And the visuals depict a world that I felt like every shot I wanted to know more about what was going on in there. And I was like, oh, but look at that, and look at that, and look at that. Oh, isn't that cool? Oh my gosh. And so that's why it's, like seeing it on the big screen is great. I mean, I think not everyone is going to be able to, but I really liked it. And it actually reminds me of the John Carter movie from a while back, which was also pretty good and yet tanked at the box office for marketing reasons. And so, anyway. So what I'll say is Mortal Engines is really good. I recommend you give it a shot if it's still playing where you're near and you don't feel the need to see some other movie first. But I really liked it, and hopefully I'll like Aquaman too. And I might tell you guys about that early tomorrow morning before I once again fly across the world to Korea. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.